Now, stuff happens. Stuff happens. It could happen to anyone. It could happen to someone who's well off. You can have a medical emergency. You could have an illness. Something terrible happened to your home or your family. Something could happen at work, or several of them. And these things do happen, right? And ideally, from a conservative standpoint, a lot of people would say, well, your family should help you. You should help your own family. Your community or church should help you. You should help your own community and church, etc. But a lot of people don't have that. That's just a reality. And I think that's a reality that a lot of people don't understand, who are less sympathetic on the conservative side, who are more sheltered. And they just say, like, the government should be doing less, hardly be doing any of these things at all. Now, I said earlier, everyone agrees there should be some form of safety net. Yet at the same time, a lot of people are a little bit calloused towards this and intellectually removed from it. But bad stuff does happen, or you're just born poor. You can't help it if you're born poor. So how do you learn how to get out of poverty and not be poor? These are things that happen. And then throughout your life, at various times, many times, at certain times that are pivotal, you're faced with choices. And what it really comes down to, we have a strong safety net. I mean, we're a very wealthy country. We do a lot to help people. We've had a strong safety net since the 60s and only been growing it. And the amount of money we spend on the safety net is almost, it's a little staggering, actually. And that's the fact that we have a safety net to help people is a good thing. The extent of it can be argued about, or how efficient it is, especially if the government's handling it. But the point is, where we're at in the society we live in right now, today, if you're born poor, you grow up poor, you happen to be in a community, in an environment, where poverty is around you and you're in poverty, there are things you can do to make your life better. And I'm going to talk about a couple of things here that are kind of statistical choices you can make, but also just day-to-day choices. I can tell you from experience, growing up in a poor community, there's a lot of problems. A lot of people have just personal problems, and there's a lot of drinking, drug use, and stuff like that. And definitely, you're going to be trapped in poverty if you are addicted. If you're an alcoholic. And yeah, life is hard. Their life is hard, but also a lot of people's lives are hard, and a lot of people in those communities don't make those choices too. But a lot of people, a large percentage of people, are making kind of bad decisions, health decisions, and decisions about how they live their lives. So that's something that really needs to work on. And what I'm trying to say is, we have a safety net, and we are helping people, and we should, but people need to take control of their own lives. That's what I'm about. That's what my life is about. That's what my work is about, is helping people and encouraging people to take control of their own lives. And I focus on people who are struggling because I know what it's like, and I grew up with it. And I've been around people, I've been around people my whole life, still have people in my life. I've been through it myself when I was younger. And so I focus on helping people get out of those circumstances and make their lives better. It's a very important thing for me. There's like three basic statistical things you can do, aside from all these personal ways you live your life that I just mentioned, that can pull you out of poverty. And I think I'll make a video about just these things, because I don't want this one to go too long. But the three things that make your life better, that can almost guarantee, you can pretty much statistically say, guarantee you to pull you out of poverty, if you are born in poverty or currently in poverty, whatever point in life that you're at. These three things are graduating high school, maintaining a steady employment history consistently throughout your life, and not having children unless and until you're married. Those are the three key elements. And this was something that was kind of publicized about 10 years ago by the Brookings Institution, which is a liberal think tank, actually. And they had just a large academic survey on poverty in general. And it's this large, basically, research paper that they did. And just one part of it, just one small part of that, when they made all these policy recommendations and had all this commentary, was they said, okay, before we go any further, we have to say that there are these three things that statistically we have noticed that will, for all intents and purposes, cure poverty for an individual, doing those three things. So I'll talk about that some other time, and I'll link that article here in the description. But that's very important to know, to encourage people to make their lives better, and for those who are in poverty to get out of poverty. But taking a step back, I just wanted to make a video to address the fundamental premise of Jamie Dimon and that commentary. Tax the wealthy to improve the lives of the poor, tax the wealthy to help the poor have better conditions and alleviate their suffering. We are doing a lot. We do a lot in this society to help people. I'm not going to rattle off a bunch of parts of the safety net off the top of my head, but I'm sure you can think of them. And that's a good thing. And then there also is private charity still, and people do help people individually. But the bulk of the problem, the crux of the issue, the main thing that's really hurting people and holding individuals back and their families and their communities is a lack of understanding of very, very basic economic fundamentals, and long-term thinking about your future, and cultural problems and social and behavioral problems. So I wanted to just address Jamie Dimon's very premise, and the premise that anyone has about taxing the rich to help the poor, without even having to get in how do we define the rich and who is rich and how rich, right? That's what I did with my last video. But there is a question before that of whether this is even the answer or how much it is. And I would say no. So I'm going to stop there. This is quite long enough. Thanks for listening. If you like what I'm doing here, please like my video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'm growing my channel right now and trying to grow my blog as well. So you can subscribe to my blog too. I'll put that link in the description. And as always, have a great day. Make your life better. Thank you.